So now that we have animated our street, let's now animate our scooter. And in our scooter, we are only going to animate the wheels. So we're just going to make the wheels spin, and that should be it for our scooter. I'm going to, for now, comment out this foreground div here, which is here, just so we can see our scooter more clearly. And now let's go back here, and in our scripts file, I'm going to create a file. I'm going to call it scooter.mjs. And in our index.js file, and I'm also going to import this file from our scripts. Now in here, we can define our animation. Similar to what we've done in our street.mjs, we're going to call it .animate. However, we're going to call it for our wheels. Let's also, by the way, clean these comments and maybe also remove these console logs. And now let's go back here, and remember our wheels are in separate divs here. In our scooter div, we have a div for the front wheel and a div for the back wheel. And also remember, we have before and after. The before one is going to be for the wheel itself. The after is going to be for the shadow that is dropped by the scooter on the wheel. So we only need to animate this before pseudo element, right? So let's get started. I'm going to first of all get our wheels by calling document.querySelector all, and get all the wheels, which are of course two wheels, and they both have a class of wheel. And let's loop through them using for each, and for each wheel we're going to create the animation. So in here we need to call wheel.animate, and what we need to do is we need to make our wheel spin. So we're just going to simply animate from transform and then rotate 0. Of course, since we are rotating from 0, we don't need to specify this first keyframe. However, just for clarity, I'm defining this first keyframe, so from 0 to 360 degrees. And then, as a second argument, we can define our duration, our also iterations. Let's do our iterations first. We need to make this infinite. Our easing should be linear. And our duration, we need to make it depend on the street, right? So depending on how fast our street is moving, our duration for the wheels animation is going to change depending on that. So what we can do is we can go to our street file here, and we can export this street animation. And then we can import it here and call street animation. So of course, make sure you import your animation. And we can get the duration of this animation using the effect that we've seen in the previous video. And in this effect, we have a method called getComputedTiming. And this is going to be a function that returns the duration, the easing, the iterations, and so on. And what we need is the duration. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this duration and divide it by 4. This is just by trial and error. I tried different durations here, and dividing the street animation duration by 4 looked fine. So if we save this, as you can see, this is how it's going to look like. And now if we change the duration of our street animation, let's make it maybe faster, 1 second, our wheels should be spinning faster as well. And now, as you can see, the shadow of our wheel is also rotating with our element. Why? Because now we are applying this animation to the wheel div, and not just to the before pseudo element in the wheel div. So when we define an animation, we can specify a certain pseudo element by adding a pseudo element option here. And in our case, we only need to animate the before pseudo element. By having that, the shadow is not going to be spinning, and only the wheel is going to be spinning. Great. However, one last thing that we would like to do in our scooter is we'd like to make it look more, little bit more realistic by making our body, the body of our scooter, vibrate a little bit as we are moving. So in our final example, we have that here. As you can see, the scooter is vibrating up and down a little bit as the engine is running. So to do that, this one we can do it with CSS normally, since we are not going to need to manipulate this animation. So no need to do it using JavaScript, we can just do it using CSS. Let's clean this up, by the way. And let's go to our scooter and define a new animation. New keyframes, I'm going to call it vibration. And this is simply going to be a 1 pixel translate Y. So let's animate from transform, translate Y of 0. And then we just need to shift our scooter, or the body of our scooter, 1 pixel in the positive Y direction, 1 pixel, so it's going to look like so. And then in our scooter, remember this scooter div contains the body and the wheels. However, we need to apply this only to the body. So in here, in the body, I'm going to apply this animation. I'm going to make it very fast, like 0.1 seconds. Also infinite, and we need to make it alternate in the direction. Let's add some easing here. And let's choose our animation, which we called vibration. By having that, as you can see, we have this vibration in our body. However, the wheels are not vibrating, only the body is. And that's it for our scooter. Let's carry on in the next video and animate the houses in the background.